So now, wait a second. When did Megan take these pictures? I remember one of these pictures, like, I remember this outfit, but I don't remember these pictures. I just came across these pictures and I was reading about how she is studying French on Duolingo. And I might have heard that before, but it didn't really sort of sink in until now that the Duchess of Sussex is learning French. We know that she is fluent in Spanish because we've heard her speak Spanish. But when she came to Paris Fashion Week back in October, and that was a very, very complicated month in my own life. Well, all my months are very, very complicated. I mean, each month gets more complicated rather than less complicated. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But October had its complications. I don't think I was paying very much attention um, what was really going on. And I think she came to, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think, did she come to, yes, in October, early October, she was in Paris for Paris Fashion Week to celebrate, to support her friend Pier Paolo Piccioli. How do you say that last name? Piccioli? Piccioli? Piccioli, clearly Italiano. And he is the new creative director of Balenciaga, evidently. And he is a longtime friend of the Duchess. She's such a Duchess. This is Duchess. This is Duchess, baby. And so Megan had come to support him. I guess it was uh, his first fashion show as creative director of Balenciaga. I think he was previously, if not creative director, certainly he worked at Valentino prior to Paris Fashion Week. And so here we have Megan, telling everybody that she is studying French and she's brushing up on her skills, her language skills again. And so when she came to support her friend, and she was heavily criticized by so many. I mean, I is there anything that Megan does that she's not criticized for? I mean, look at this. It's They should have gotten on their knees and thanked her for showing up and just, you know, spraying some Megan Stardust over the event, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it put the whole thing on the map because less and less people care about this kind of stuff anyway. Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, who cares, right? And but Megan shows up, and suddenly it's the talk of the town. But they have to do it in a negative way and criticize her. And I just thought, certainly the pictures I had seen, most of these that are in this video, I'd never seen before. Like this one I had never seen. I mean, look at this. I mean, the white on this is like, it's so white. It's like a bright white. I like this shade of white. It's a very um, specific shade of white. I really like this. And so she was just so stunning. But no, but this is about her learning French because, of course, I have lived on the French territory for some time, quite a while, quite a significant portion of my life, actually, more than 10 years, going on 14 years, actually, in February. And we know that, they're kicking me out of their country. And, that's still ongoing. I still don't have an answer to that yet, believe it or not. And but I've been here quite a while, and so of course, the French language has always been very, very fascinating. Would I say I'm fascinated by the French language? I don't know if the word is fascinating, but I have always wanted to learn French, just like Megan. And I've lived here almost 14 years, and I still can't put a French sentence together after all of these years, and it's such a frustration. It's become a frustration recently. I think, in the beginning years, I didn't really think about it too much because I was teaching English. No one wanted to hear me speak French. And even if I would try to speak in French, like say I went to, oh, I don't know, a boulangerie or, let's say I interacted with someone in French in sort of a business or public setting and I tried to speak in French, they'll be like, oh, no, 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 I'll speak in English, as though, my French was so bad. They just, let's speak in English. So over the years, I guess I might have stopped trying to learn French or learn how to speak French, and I would just speak in English, and it just became easier, and I became lazy and lazier and lazier because it was just easier and easier and easier. And people enabled that, because I was either teaching English, they don't want me to speak any French at all, or when I try to speak in French, they would speak to me in English. So I can't speak French after 14 years, So I mean, look, I know some words, okay? I know some words and I can potentially get through a situation. And I have passed French tests in the past. Um, but I think my level has fallen over the years. And I think that it would be one of my regrets, I would say, as someone who has lived here for such a long time and potentially will not be living here for as long as I thought I would be living. I thought I would spend the rest of my life in this country, actually. Um, and it would be one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't spend enough time studying it, focusing on it the way the Duchess of Sussex does. I mean, she does her Duolingo. I've never done Duolingo. Don't even, I figure it must be some kind of online app or something. Have heard of it, never used it. I really wish I had taken my French more seriously, potentially even have gone to university and just studied French as a language in France. You know what I'm saying? Um, biggest regret, if there anything, if there are any regrets of this experience, is that. So I never picked up on Megan's, statement that she was studying French. I must have heard it. I'm sure I did, but I'm so distracted with so many different things in my own life. I'm only now picking back up again, making videos regularly about the Sussexes for many different reasons, not just the complications in my own life, but, also because of how my channel has been performing or not performing, as the case may be. So I just got kind of like maybe discouraged or whatever. I don't know. So I haven't really been um, as dedicated to making videos as I had been in the past. And so I I heard her say, I mean, I read that she was doing French, but I didn't really register until now. And I'm like, good for you, Megan. I'm sure if I ever spoke to her in French, her French would be way above my own, which is like embarrassing. It's completely embarrassing. Like I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by my level of French. And by the way, to have certain visas in this country, like to become a French citizen or to maybe all of the visas because they change the laws all the time. You have to have a certain level of French. But and don't tell anybody I said that, but I have no idea what these people are talking about after 14 years. I've no In fact, I'll tell you something else about this whole thing with the French is that one of the things, and this is probably why my French never really improved, is that one of the things I like about living in France is the fact that I don't know what anyone is talking about. I like being oblivious. I like it's almost like it puts me in a world of my own where I just have no idea what's happening. I don't know what you're saying. You're insulting me, whatever. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, right? And I don't want to know what you're saying. Don't tell anybody I said that because you have to know what they're saying. You have to want to know what's happening. I love not knowing what's happening. I love being in my bubble and just living my life in peace. You know what I mean? And so that's a part of it too. It's not just a question of people wanted me to speak in English. That's a huge part. Well, listen, I digressed and I went off on this huge tangent. This is not about me and my ridiculous French struggles. This is about the Duchess of Sussex herself learning French. And I'm just like, good for you, Meghan. I can't wait for her to just unleash in a French setting. Maybe she'll be invited by someone and she'll just, go into French and it'll be